Hello, my name is Cory Claytor, and I would like to welcome you to the Claytor House. I am a young interior designer who recently launched my own interior design studio, and I'm starting this channel to document my journey as a business owner and share anything related to design and interiors, home decorating, anything of that nature. I'm filming this video as a little introduction to my channel. I want to give you some background on who I am, how I got into the world of design, started my own studio, and kind of talk about my first year of business, kind of, as well as cover what you can expect to see on this channel and what my first few videos after this one will be as I learn about video editing and uploading to YouTube. As I said, my name is Cory. I'm originally from Mississippi, but I grew up in Wyoming. I've lived all over. I'm currently in the Quad State area of Pennsylvania, Maryland, West Virginia, and Virginia. I've been in this area for almost 2 years, and I just recently officially formed my business. Now, I did not start off in the design world. I actually went to college for dance. I grew up dancing. I was a competitive dancer, took ballet exams. That was the world that I was in. So I went to college as a dance major in New York City. I was pursuing a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Dance Performance with a concentration in modern dance. Additionally, I was pursuing a Bachelor of Arts in Business with a concentration in Media and Arts Management. So that's like museum curators, radio station hosts, theater managers, careers like that. But business was more of my backup plan. I never thought that I'd own a business. It was just to have something else in case dancing didn't work out. And then about a year into my program, I met my husband while I was home for my first summer. We dated over the summer, and then I went back to school. He moved to Colorado, and we decided to do long distance. And then about halfway into my program, I realized that I did not want to dance anymore. Living in New York was very expensive and had never considered any other career paths, and I did not know what I wanted to do. Like I said, I had my business degree that I was working towards, but I didn't see myself owning a business, and I just didn't want to spend that much money going to the school that I was going to, when if I was pursuing something else, I could get a cheaper education elsewhere. But I did not know what I wanted to go to school for anymore, so I decided to take a break. I left New York, moved to Colorado to be with my husband, and I just worked odd jobs here and there for a little bit until I decided what I wanted to go back to school for. And then COVID happened, and we were all stuck at home because my husband's job was paying all of our bills, and he had to work from home, and we were in a 1-bedroom apartment. I could not make any noise during the day. He was in lots of meetings, and he was working in our living room. I could not clean, I could not work on anything, I could not play music, I couldn't do anything. I had to lock myself in our bedroom all day and either 1, play Animal Crossing, or 2, have my headphones in and watch YouTube. Now at the time, everybody on YouTube that I was watching at least was doing home projects. They were stuck at home, they were working on their homes, doing DIYs. I was just constantly watching people transform their spaces. I was watching, like I said, DIYers, I was watching designers, I was watching design firms, anything related to interiors, I was just super drawn to. Well, eventually things were starting to open back up, and I started working at Starbucks, and they have their college achievement program through ASU. So I enrolled as a interdisciplinary studies major because I still did not know really what I wanted to go back to school for. But about a semester in, I had still been watching all of these design videos and constantly asking myself, you know, how did they come up with that? Why do those things work together? How are these people creating these beautiful spaces? So I looked into ASU's interior design program. At the time, they did not offer their interior design degree through that program. So my option was to be a graphic design major with an architecture minor. And although that would have been totally fine, I just did not want to spend the money on school when I didn't know if it was something I actually wanted to do as a career. And if it wasn't exactly what I wanted to go for, I didn't want to pay for it. So I dropped out of school for the second time and started looking for interior design programs that I could afford and could pay for, whether that was college or otherwise. That's when I came across this program that was relatively affordable and I had the money saved up for it. So I went ahead and purchased it and paid for it up front. It was a self-paced program that was supposed to take 6 months, but it actually took me about 1.5 years. Right when I started, my husband switched jobs and we moved back to Wyoming, where we lived for a little bit, and I changed jobs a couple times. Then he changed jobs 2 more times. We moved out to the East Coast. We got married. We bought a house. We moved again locally. We got a puppy. So with our other 2 dogs, we were now raising a puppy. We just had a lot of life changes that prolonged me getting through this course. And I finally finished it in December of 2022, about a month after we moved into our current house. When I first completed the course, I didn't know what I wanted to do in the design world. I really didn't want to start my own business, but there really weren't any firms close to me that, 1, would hire me, or 2 were close enough. I didn't want to commute 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours at night. I just got married and I wanted to focus on the family aspect and putting down roots where we were the first time we bought a house. So we wanted to establish ourselves where we are. So I worked a couple of other odd jobs, but because of a design that I had done during school, a test design for my sister-in-law, she had gone and shown it to people that she worked with and family members of hers. And because of that, I had one person reach out about a design. And because of that design, I had 2 more people reach out about designs. And my sister-in-law reached out about 2 more designs. So right there, I kind of just had 5 projects fall into my lap. Now they weren't all right at the same time. They were kind of sequential, so it worked out nicely. And I spent the first year out of design school working on those projects. 2 of them I ended up doing a lot of DIYing for. I'm not a DIYer, but in order to bring the designs to life, they needed some DIYing, and with them being my first projects and me wanting to really give a lot to them, I was willing to do that and just take on something new and learn what went into certain building aspects so I could communicate with contractors and furniture makers and different tradespeople as I got more into the design world. Well, after a year of working on those 5 projects and still not really finding any design firms around me or design related jobs, I decided that I would in fact start my own studio, Claytor House Interiors, and I've been working on that for the past several months. Now that brings me to YouTube. I have always wanted to start a YouTube channel but I never really knew what I wanted it to be about. I didn't feel like I was an expert in anything. I wanted my channel to have a main focus, but I didn't feel qualified enough in any one specific area to be able to create content on. And although I love watching vlog content, that did not feel authentic or genuine to me, which is something else I wanted. I wanted to be able to show up genuinely and authentically and as myself. So as I got into interior design and was watching all of those types of videos online, I was really drawn to making that type of content. However, I started off living in a one-bedroom apartment where I didn't have the money to do any makeovers, and I was renting, so I couldn't make any changes. Then we moved into a 3-bedroom house in Wyoming, but again, we were renting, and with our financial goals, I could not expend the extra money to make over that space either. And at that point, I was still in design school, so I didn't feel comfortable sharing design tips or sharing anything related to design, as I didn't yet feel qualified to speak on it. And so here we are a couple years later, where I have my own house. I'm able to make changes and do makeovers, and I'm starting to get to the point where we have a little bit of extra money in our budget to accomplish those types of things. I'm a year out of design school, I've worked on different projects, and I feel that now I'm able to show up authentically, and I have advice and inspiration and things like that to offer to an audience. So that's what you can expect from this channel. Anything related to interiors, interior design. There will be some DIYs, although I'm not really a DIYer, there will be some of that. And just anything related to decoration, furniture, anything in that world I love and I want to share. Now, a big tenet for me is the why behind designs. As I mentioned, I got into the design world because I was watching people online and asking myself why and how, and you know, what goes together, what's the math behind this, what's the science of design, what's color theory, what are all of these things? I was constantly asking myself why, and as I tried to find the answer to all of those questions, the information was not super readily available. I was finding it difficult to get my questions answered without being directed to a course or a degree or something like that. All of the people putting content out were super inspirational and entertaining, but the information that I was looking for was not always there in the way that I needed it to understand. And a big belief of mine is that knowledge and information should be readily available for anybody who wants the opportunity to expand their own life or improve the life of someone else. I think everyone should be able to do that. So as I share things on my channel, it's really important to me to provide the why behind design decisions or share information related to design. Granted, I'm not an expert. I am a very new designer. I do not have all of the answers, but the answers that I do have, I am more than happy to share. As for the first few videos on my channel, I mentioned that a couple of the design projects that I've worked on throughout the past year required some DIYing. Although at the time I did not really have a plan to start a channel or anything like that, I did pick up a camera just to film in the off chance that one day I might want to start one. And here we are. One just got wrapped up a couple months ago and the other one is just about there. So I have 2 makeover series that I will be putting up. Those will be the next few videos that you'll see. One is an office/playroom space, and the other is a home library. The first series is gonna be probably a little bit longer than the second one, and at the end of each series, I will share all of the design details, all of the decisions, all of that went into it, and how I reached the designs that I did for anyone who may have those questions. But before I make those detailed videos, I will be sharing the makeover process. There's a lot of work that went into it. I picked up a lot of power tools that I had never used before. I had never DIY'd before these projects, and I'm super excited to share them with you. Between the two series, there may be a couple of buffer videos depending on the finality of the second project. Like I said, we're almost done. So depending on where that one's at, by the time I finish sharing the first series, I may have a couple of other videos to put in between those. So if you're interested in design related content and those makeover series and watching me make over my own home and share my business journey, I hope you will consider subscribing and leave me a comment on some videos that you'd like to see, some questions you may have, some topics you want covered. I look forward to building and participating in a community. That's been one of my favorite aspects of watching other creators, is the way that they foster and build and participate in the communities regarding their content. So I'm super looking forward to that, and I hope you will stick around for more. Until then, I am wishing you all my best. We are tackling the most exciting part of the project, building custom cabinetry from scratch. There will be filing drawers on the bottom of either side,